Hi, in this video we are going to see how we can download Oracle database from the internet. So in order to do that, you just search with a keyword. So I am just going to download the Oracle, and I'm going to download under Oracle, I'm going to download the Oracle database. So once you search, you will be able to see this link for database software downloads from the Oracle website. You just click that, and there are a lot of version, and my machine is Windows. So in the latest version, it's available in the Oracle Solaris version. So but I need Windows, so I'll just go to 19.3 and Windows 64-bit version. I'll take it and I'll download it. So once you click download, right, so you'll be able to download the software, which is around 2.59 GB. Okay, so once you click download, it will download to your machine, and based on your operating system, you just try to take and install it in your machine. But in this demo, I'm going to try Windows version of Oracle database, and I just click this zip file, and which is I'm going to download 2.9 GB of this particular software. So once I click, and it will get downloaded into my system, and now once it's downloaded, I'll get the software. So it's downloaded in my downloads folder, and I'll just open the file. So this is the file. If you see Windows x64 19300, right? So if you see the property, and it is around 2.90 GB, right? 2.89 GB. So I already downloaded it. So I just going to unzip that content. I'm going to unzip the content. So I'll just extract all. So it's going to extract that in the same folder, and once it's extracted, I'm going to take the content. I'm going to install the software in my machine. So I'll just, yeah, so already it's preparing to copy now. So it's basically, it's extracting the folder in your the same download folder itself. So once it's extracted, so we are going to install the Oracle database in our machine. So the extraction got completed now. So we have got things got extracted now. So if you see here where I have extracted, it's in the same download folder I have extracted. So if you wanted to copy and move that files to your folder, then you can move it to some other folder also. For example, if you wanted to move it to C colon also, you can move it. So I just cut that file into my C colon now. So what we did initially, so we have downloaded the actual zip file from the internet, and we downloaded it, and we have extracted it. So once you extract itself, you can directly write into the C colon. But what I have done it, the same place I have extracted it. Now I just moved it. So just rename it this one. So this is saying Oracle DB home, right? So I'll just keep Oracle DB home. So this is nothing but whatever the file which we have downloaded, and then I have just unzipped it, right? So here there is a setup file, so you can double click that in order to install the Oracle. So I'll just say yes, because I'm going to install. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to the device? Yes, I'm going to install now. So this is starting up the installation process. So what I'm doing is I'm installing the Oracle 19C version. So once you click the setup file, it will open this universal installer file. So it's going to open with few steps. So once it's opened it, right, so we'll be able to go and each step, and we'll be able to fill some information. So now this page is getting loaded for the universal installer. Yeah, so now it's loaded, and I'll just maximize it. Yeah, so till the font is small. Okay, so if you see here, there are two options, create and configure single instance database and set up a software only. So as part of this, I wanted to create some database as well. Okay, so whatever we have downloaded, it's an installer file only. So now only we are installing the Oracle in our machine. So what I'm doing is I'm downloading it in my Windows system. So I will go the first one, create and configure single instance database, and I'll click next. And once you click next, it will go to the second step. If you see the second left side, right, there are a few steps. So now it's in the system class tab. And database class, this is option you can go get for your if you're installing in your desktop or laptop. So I'll just select the desktop class, and I'll click next. And then now in the third option, which is third step, which is Oracle home user. So I'll create some user. So this is the user your Oracle database is going to run. So I'll just set any username. So I'll just say techlightning is my username, and password I'll just set some password. I'm just setting Oracle as a password. Okay, I just gave O as a caps and Oracle, and so that's the password I gave, and I'll just give next. So basically, whenever you wanted to run the Oracle installation in your machine, right? So which needs some user, so that's the user, this one, and I just set my username and password here, and now it is the other next step, which is the fourth step, typical installation, right? So this is the main thing where it is asking where you wanted to install the application. So whatever the file I have extracted earlier, it is not the Oracle actual the installation. Actually, it's an installer file, but it's not install any Oracle. So now only we are installing Oracle. So it's asking a path. So it's saying C colon, and it's saying C colon app Arul C. So it's suggesting some path. So I'll just give some path. Before that, I'll just try to create some folder. I'll go to browse, and then I'll just try to create or select some folders. So folders are not there, so I'll just create the folders first, and then I'll just select that. Okay, so here I'll just create a folder called Oracle. Okay, so this is the folder I'm going to select for my installation. Okay, so I'll just click C colon, and I'm going to select Oracle there. This PC C colon and Oracle. Okay, so this is the place I'm going to install, and I'm going to select that. So first one is done, Oracle base, and our software location, it was selected some default location, and which we cannot change it. So that's a place we have our actual installer file and database file location. So this is getting stored in our path, the installation path where we are going to install, and it's creating a overall data folder, and which I'm not changing it. And then I'll just go to the next one. So this is a tooltip only. So there are two versions, so I'll just choose the enterprise edition version, and dataset I'll leave it as it is, and then global database name. So it's a default database name which you wanted to create. If you wanted to change the name, you can change it. Now I'm giving a ORCL, which is a default, and this is the database username and password. I'll just give some database username password. So here also I'll just give Oracle, and I'm just giving O as capital Oracle, and then there's a create as a container database, which is checked. I will have that checked, and then there's a applicable database name, which is ORCL PDB. So that is also, I'll leave it default. Okay, so whatever the password I've selected, it's not the recommended password, but I'll go ahead with that for demonstration purpose. But if you are going to use it for your organization or enterprise, then you have to have a stronger password. Okay, so for this demo purpose, I'll leave the password as Oracle, and I'll give next. So now we are in the fifth step. Okay, so it's saying the warning, your password is it's not compliance with the Oracle recommended standard. Okay, I'll say yes, I wanted to continue, and then prerequisites check. So this is the place it is checking in your laptop or desktop has enough memory, enough space to install the software. So that's the prerequisites check it is doing now. So now we are good actually. That's why there's no warning, so we can proceed it. So there is a install, so I'll just click install step. Okay, so as it is going to install, it will take a couple of minutes. So once it's installed, then we'll be in the final step, and then the database will be ready. Okay, so we need to wait for that step, because the final step it's going to give us some URL where the Oracle database is going to run. We can see it in the further upcoming step. Okay, so now it's getting installed. 7% is complete. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes to get this complete. So now only it's actually installing. Okay, so first what we have downloaded is a zip file as an installation file, and which downloaded we are extracting it. So it's some of the installation file is getting blocked by firewall, so I'll just give allow access. So it's proceeding with the remaining installation. So now we gave the path as Oracle C colon Oracle, that's the place it's getting installed. So I'll just go and see the files are getting created here. So if you see refresh, yeah, so still the file is not created, and I think it's in the initial steps only. It's creating the registry entries in the registry file and all those stuff. So once that is done, it will create the all installation file or the actual software into our C colon Oracle path. Okay, so now it's getting installed. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes, then it will get installed. So now if you see, we are in the final step, and it's saying the configuration of Oracle database was successful, and also it's saying some URL for Oracle Enterprise Manager Database Express URL localhost :5500 em. So now what has happened is we have downloaded the software, and we have extracted the software, and we have done the installation by running a setup.exe, and then we have selected where to install, and we have went through few steps, and then finally it got installed it now. So which path we have installed? So we installed in SQL and Oracle, right? So I just go to that path. So if you see the SQL and Oracle, earlier there was no file, right? So if you see here, there are a lot of files and our database related information like ORCL database, and it's available here. So everything got created now. And also if you see here, this started our databases as well. Okay, so if you see, if you wanted to see your services which are running in your machine after this installation, go to services.msc or services app, and you will be able to see the list of Oracle related processes already started running. Okay, so I'll just go and see Oracle, right? So if you see this Oracle related job, the Oracle job scheduler, everything, right, and it's running. So if you see the status, it's running. And also we have selected the user, right, which user I want to start this process. So it started at a techlightning user. Okay, so if you see, whatever the user we gave it in as part of the installation process, through that it started running. So now I'll just quickly open this enterprise manager. So I'll just close this one, and the installation is complete now. So I'll just open that in from the browser. So we are opening now the enterprise manager, so which is available in my local machine, and 5500, which is the default port, and EM. Okay, so you just type that, it'll ask a username, and you just type sys, and then password is the one which we gave it in as part of the installation. What I gave two set of password. One is the Windows user account, where I said what is the user my application, the Oracle application should run. And other than that, there was a password which I gave for the Oracle database password, right? So that password I'll give, which I specified as Oracle O caps, so not container. So only the password I'm filling, which is Oracle O caps. That's the one I gave it during the installation, and I'll just click login. Okay, so if your installation is already started and everything is fine, you will be able to see the CM. You will be able to log, which is an enterprise manager, where you can see the performance of your database. So you will be able to see your ORCL database is running, and then the status of it and how it is performing. So if you see this one, our uptime is 9 minutes. So we have completed the installation. So it has automatically started your databases, and this instances for ORCL, it's running for last 9 minutes. Okay, and where I have installed 19.3, and I have installed the 64-bit version of Windows, Microsoft Windows. That's the image I have used it for installation. And you will be able to see a lot of statistics and the database time, how much requests are coming, and everything we can see. So, and other than that, you can also see the performance, the detailed one from here, the performance hub, where you can mainly you can monitor the instance of your Oracle. So where you can monitor the different utilization, the CPU utilization and other stuff, right? So everything you can monitor it. Okay, so this is more from the monitoring perspective to see how your Oracle instance is performing. And we saw how the folder structure got created, which is Oracle. So initially Oracle DB Home is our installer file, and Oracle is the actual installation file, where it's used to store all the config under this ORCL database, which is your global database, and which is getting stored everything here. And also you have our Oracle pluggable database related configurations are here, and now that got created. So now what we have done, so downloaded the file, extracted the file, and we moved the file to our SQL, and we renamed it to Oracle DB Home, and then we run a setup file, and using the setup file we install this, created an Oracle folder, and where we have installed the Oracle. And also we are able to see after the installation, we are able to see from the enterprise manager the Oracle is up now. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to verify our database component which we have installed, it's working as expected. So in order to do that, we are going to create some user, and we are going to give some permission to that user, and finally we are going to create a table and select the records from the table, so that we will make sure whatever the installation we have done right now, it is working as expected. So in order to do that, so when we install the Oracle, right, so it comes with many components. You can search with SQL plus, so it's also installed as part of that. And I'm going to log into that my database now. So how I'm going to log in is just give single quote as sys as DBA. So you are going to give a slash as sysdba. So if you see here, connected to, if you're getting the message without any error, which means we are able to successfully connect to this 9.3, which is 19C of enterprise edition of Oracle, we are able to connect it. Okay, so now we have connected successfully. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my own user, and that user I'm going to give access equivalent to this sysdba access, and where I'm going to create a table. Okay, so in order to create that user, what I'm going to do is I'll just have some command. So this is the command we have to use for creating a user. Okay, so I'll just create, right click, I'll just copy this. So if you see here, I am giving some common, I'm creating a common database username. So that's why I'm giving a C ## simple, and then I'm giving my username. So here my username is demo user, create user C ## demo user identified by Tiger. So Tiger is a password. I'll just enter. So now this user is getting created. Okay, so I'll just enter. User is created now. So now I'm going to give some grant access to this particular user. So I will copy that command, grant unlimited table space to this particular demo user. Okay, so I'll just provide the grant access. So every access for this user is provided now. So one more access is I'm just giving a permission similar to my sysdba access. So grant, I didn't copy properly. I'll just copy grant. So now it's created. So we have created a user, we have created the grant unlimited table space access, and also we granted the resource connect DBA access to this particular user. So now user, everything is created. Now under this user, I'm going to create my table. So in order to do that, I'll just log out this one. I'll just give exit so that it get disconnected. Then I'll try to log in again. SQL plus, because earlier I logged in using sysdba access. Now I'm going to log in with my access, which is she has as demo user, and password is Tiger. So I have connected to this user, and I'm going to create a table. So how we create a table? Create table. I'll just create employee table with some employee information, varchar 25, and then employee ID will be there, varchar 25, and then we can have some department field as well. So department, I'll just say 25, and then semicolon, and yeah, there is a open parenthesis here, so you have to close that and then semicolon. So now see here, I didn't give the proper syntax. I didn't give that varchar here, varchar 25. Now you enter, the table got created now. Okay, so now we have created a table. I'm going to insert some record to this employee table. So insert into table name and values, and then I'm going to give some employee name. Okay, so I'll just give Arul, comma 1001 as employee ID, and then I'll just close that, and department is I'll just give IT, and then closing parenthesis semicolon. Okay, so now one record got created. I'll just create with another record, Arul Raj 1002, and then I'll just say he's from testing department. Okay, so then I'll create one more record, Ravi 1003, and then I'll say HR department. Okay, so there are 3 records got created now. So if you wanted to check select asterisks from employee semicolon, you'll be able to see all 3 records. So now what we have seen in our database, we have just created some user called demo user, C ## demo user, which is a common database user, and we logged out, and then we logged in with our user, and we created our table, and we are able to select everything from our table, which means our database is working as expected.
Hi, thank you for watching this video so far, and if you like the content, please subscribe this Tech Lightning channel, and also please share it with your friends. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.